Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Listen, the Blue Jays just made one of the smartest moves of the entire offseason, and honestly, I don't think enough people are talking about how much of a steal this actually is. While everyone's been obsessing over the big names and the massive contracts, Ross Atkins quietly went out and grabbed exactly what this lineup desperately needed. We're talking about a proven power hitter who doesn't strike out, makes consistent contact, and can play multiple positions. This is the kind of move that changes everything. So the news just broke, and I'm telling you, this is massive. The Toronto Blue Jays have signed third baseman Kazuma Okamoto. Jeff Passan dropped this bomb, and immediately the baseball world started paying attention. Now, if you've been following the Jays this offseason, you know they've been aggressive. They've been making moves. They've been in on everyone, and they're clearly not messing around. But this signing, this might be the smartest one yet. Let me break down exactly who Okamoto is and why this matters so much. First off, the guy is 29 years old, so he's entering his prime years. He's been absolutely dominant in Japan's NPB, and I'm not just talking about one good season. We're talking about consistency at an elite level. Look at his numbers from last year. In 77 games, he put up a .992 OPS. That's incredible. He hit 15 home runs, drove in 51 runs, and get this, he batted .322. His on-base percentage was over 400. These aren't fluky numbers. This is who he is as a hitter. But here's what really gets me excited. From 2018 through 23, Okamoto hit over 30 home runs every single season, 6 straight years of 30-plus home runs. That's not luck, that's elite power production. And even when the NPB went through their dead ball era and offensive numbers dropped across the league, he still maintained an .882 OPS since 2018. The dude led the entire NPB with a .212 OPS plus last season, meaning he was 112% better than league average. That's all-star caliber production, folks. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Japanese players coming over to MLB is always a risk, right? The competition level is different, the pitching is different, the travel is different, all valid concerns. But here's why I'm not worried about Okamoto. His game isn't built on one specific skill that might not translate. He's not a guy who relies solely on his bat speed against slower velocity. He doesn't have massive holes in his swing that MLB pitchers will exploit. His foundation is contact and plate discipline. He doesn't chase pitches outside the zone. He makes consistent hard contact. His average exit velocity last year was 92.4 miles per hour, which is legitimately good and absolutely translates to the big leagues. The versatility is another huge factor here. Reports are coming out that while he played primarily third base and first base in Japan, some people in the industry see him as a left fielder at the MLB level. That's huge for roster construction. If the Jays bring back Bichette, you can slide Okamoto to left field. If they land Kyle Tucker, you can keep Okamoto at third base and figure out the outfield from there. If they want to give Vladimir Guerrero Jr. a day off his feet, Okamoto can play first base and apparently has gold glove potential there. This kind of flexibility is exactly what modern baseball teams need. And let's talk about what this means for the lineup construction. Even without adding Bo back or trading for Kyle Tucker, look at what this lineup could be. George Springer leading off or hitting in the middle. Nathan Lukes providing speed. Vlad Guerrero being Vlad. Spencer Horwitz or Addison Barger getting opportunities. Alejandro Kirk behind the plate. Kazuma Okamoto providing that thunder in the middle of the order. Dalton Varsho with his defense and power potential. Ernie Clement giving you versatility. Andres Jimenez solidifying that infield defense. That's a legitimate lineup that can score runs. But here's the thing, I don't think they're done. The beauty of this signing is that it doesn't take them out of anything. They can still go after Bichette and bring him back on a reasonable deal. They can still be aggressive in trade talks for Kyle Tucker. Okamoto's ability to play multiple positions means he fits regardless of what other moves they make. That's smart roster building. That's thinking 3 moves ahead. Some people might be disappointed they didn't go after Alex Bregman or one of the other bigger names still available. But let me tell you why I actually prefer this move. Bregman is 31 years old and is going to command a massive contract, probably something in the $200 million range. He's more of a known quantity at the MLB level, sure, but you're also paying for past performance, and you're betting on a guy on the wrong side of 30. Okamoto is 29, entering his prime, and is going to cost a fraction of what Bregman would have. The upside here is enormous. If his power translates the way I think it will, if his contact skills remain elite, we could be looking at a guy who hits between 25 and 35 home runs with a batting average in the 270s or 280s and an on-base percentage consistently above 350. That's a middle-of-the-order bat that changes your entire lineup dynamic. The risk-reward calculation here is so heavily tilted toward reward that it's almost a no-brainer. Even if Okamoto comes over and there's an adjustment period, even if he settles in as a guy who hits 20 home runs with solid contact rates and good defense, that's still incredible value. But if he comes over and maintains anywhere close to his NPB production level, if he becomes that 30 home run threat with elite contact skills, you're talking about one of the best signings of the entire offseason across all of baseball. And think about what this does for the rest of the roster. It takes pressure off some of the younger guys. Addison Barger doesn't have to be the answer at third base immediately. Spencer Horwitz can continue developing without the weight of being a primary run producer. The outfield situation becomes way more flexible. If they want to trade Nathan Lukes as part of a package for pitching or another bat, they can do that now. Okamoto gives them options, and options are everything in roster construction. I also love what this says about the front office's approach. They're not just throwing money at the biggest names. They're being strategic. They're identifying value. They're thinking about fit and roster construction and not just headlines. Okamoto was one of the best hitters available in free agency when you look at pure production, but he wasn't getting the attention that some other names were getting. The Jays saw that opportunity and jumped on it. That's smart baseball operations. So where do they go from here? I still think they're aggressive on Bichette. The relationship is there. He's a homegrown star, and bringing him back makes sense if the numbers work. I think they're still very much in on Kyle Tucker, especially if they can work out an extension as part of the trade. They need to add at least one more impact bat to really solidify this lineup as a contender. But even if they don't, even if Okamoto is the final major addition to the offense, they've significantly improved from where they were. The starting pitching still needs attention. The bullpen could use another arm or two. There's still work to be done. But offensively, they've added real thump to this lineup. Okamoto changes the complexion of what opposing pitchers have to deal with. He's another guy who can hurt you. He's another guy who doesn't give away at-bats. He's another guy who makes pitchers work and makes them pay for mistakes. I'm genuinely excited about this signing in a way I haven't been about some of the other moves this offseason. This feels like the kind of under-the-radar acquisition that ends up being talked about as one of the steals of the winter. This feels like the kind of move that in 2 years, people look back on and wonder how everyone else missed on this guy. The Blue Jays just got significantly better, and they did it in a way that keeps all their other options open. That's exactly how you're supposed to operate in the offseason. Ross Atkins deserves credit for this one. The Jays got their guy, and now it's time to see what else they can add. But make no mistake, Kazuma Okamoto is a serious addition to this lineup, and if you're not excited about it, you're not paying attention.